Hey everyone, welcome to another live video. What I'm talking about today is how our culture's paradigm is based on basically ignoring your health until a disease develops and then you start to worry about it. And then even when that disease finally does develop, and then what we're really focused on is treating just the symptoms. And the symptoms that disease creating, we're not even necessarily worried about our overall health. So I'm talking about that paradigm today, and I'm bringing this up right now because there's nothing really more damaging to our brain than stress. So when your brain is stressed, it shrinks it. It does something called atrophy, where stress will actually shrink your brain and it whittles away at our blood-brain barrier. And that's the barrier in our brain that kind of helps keep out toxins and infections from our brain. So I'm bringing that up because we're obviously all probably pretty stressed right now, just with the whole pandemic, and this is myself included. I'm not going to act like this hasn't completely stressed me out as well, so it's not like I'm going to be on a soapbox right now, lecturing you guys, but I think we need to put at the forefront that this is a very stressful time, and when you think about what the stress does to your brain, it's very important to think about. And the most common form of stress that Americans actually face is not what you think of. So we're always thinking of stress, from the pandemic and our job and our kids and things like that, but it's actually the effects of poor diet and poor health. So a poor diet is going to stress out your brain just as much as any stress from this pandemic has. So if we've been eating a poor diet and then you add on all the stress on top of it from this pandemic, then it becomes a huge problem for our brain, and that's probably where we're not handling it very well. So the most common way that we damage our brains is through blood sugar imbalances. So whenever our blood sugar goes up and down multiple times throughout the day, it's going to completely crash our brain and stress it out. So just very common like breakfast items that we have is like oatmeal or cereal or pancakes or like muffins or things like that. And these all will, they're very high in carbohydrates, so they're going to spike up the blood sugar and then come crashing back down. And then for lunch, we have something, with a bread or bun or pasta or like a rice-based thing. And again, that's another major spike in blood sugar and then comes down. And then for dinner, it's something just as starchy, plus maybe a dessert, and then it comes up and down. And then snacks throughout the day, you might have something like candy or a sweet coffee or something with sugar in it, and again, comes up and crashing down. And the human body was really only designed to have to lower your blood sugar on occasional basis. So it's not supposed to constantly, every hour be bringing down your blood sugar, and that's what's causing your brain to feel so stressed out. So when I say like blood sugar, anytime you're eating carbohydrates, that's going to spike your blood sugar and bring it back down. So I'd actually highly encourage anyone that whenever they're eating something to look at the label on the back of what they're eating and look at the total carbohydrates part. And anytime you're eating something of like over 10 grams, which is, you're going to be shocked at how many things that is. But if you're eating something that's over like 10 grams of carbs, then that's again just going to come up and down with your blood sugar, and again stress out your brain and make it feel foggy and not be able to think as well. So in order for your body to create enough energy to deal with stress, it has to release cortisol from adrenal glands on the top of your kidneys. So if you're constantly having high cortisol, that destroys a part of the brain called the hippocampus. And what the hippocampus does is it's supposed to get most of your cortisol in the morning, and then as you go through the evening and throughout your day, it's supposed to get less and less and less cortisol, and then you're able to go to sleep. So if it's constantly getting cortisol throughout the day through like a bad diet and stress, then you're going to ruin your circadian rhythms. You're not going to be able to fall asleep. You're going to feel like insomnia. So that's even where diet and stress plays a role in your sleep. And the hippocampus is also where you convert your short-term memory to your long-term memory. So if you're always giving your hippocampus way too much cortisol from stress, from diet, or whatever, that affects your ability to learn and remember things. So I hope that helped out. I hope that kind of brought a little bit of forefront of what chronically eating carbs does to your brain. But if you need more help with that, I've made like an 8-week brain-based program where basically I'll be able to like hold your hand through the entire thing, and it's both for kids and adults. So whether you're an adult and you have brain fog, or issues with brain health, or you just don't feel right, or your kids are having trouble like focusing and concentrating, or are feeling anxious, what we do is we look at the nutritional compounds that take away brain inflammation, and we help stimulate the areas of the brain that are underactive, and we increase the blood flow to the brain. And that's really the idea of the program. So diet and lifestyle are absolutely needed, but also you need to address inflammation and brain stimulation. That's also needed. So what I hear all the time is like patients come in and they're like, well, my doctor told me nothing's wrong. They looked at my labs or my tests, that everything's normal. And it's actually, people are usually actually thankful to know that there is something wrong when they've been feeling crappy for so many years. So that's what I try to do, is actually point to the thing that no one's been able to point to. So if you have any questions about that, always feel free to message me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or otherwise our office number is 402-504-4676. And actually the cool thing about this pandemic is I'm now doing virtual meetups, so I'm able to see people from far away now and almost like do video calls and do that program from there as well. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope that helped a lot, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another video.